curious if she's ready for another round. I smile at her through sleepy eyes. "Go to your room," she says, kicking me with her feet. "You're snoring." My eyes fall shut again, but they fly open when her cold feet meet my stomach. She uses the strength of her legs to try and push me out of her bed. "Go," she groans. "I can't sleep." I somehow push myself into a standing position. I look down at her, and she rolls onto her stomach, flips her pillow over, and sprawls out across her mattress. I shuffle my way across her bedroom, through our bathroom, and to my own bed. I fall onto it and close my eyes, taking all of 3 seconds to fall right back asleep. Chapter 6. I'm convinced that I've never slept as well as I did last night. And even though she kicked me out of her bed, I still feel victorious, like royalty. After I'm showered and dressed, I join Ridge in the kitchen. He's cleaning up what looks like breakfast, which is odd because neither of us ever cooks breakfast. But then I understand when Maggie emerges from his room. "Morning, Maggie," I say to her with a smile. She eyes me cautiously. "What's with you?" Right at that moment, Bridget's bedroom door opens. We all watch her walk into the living room. She pauses when she looks up and sees us all staring at her. "Morning, Bridget," I say with a triumphant smile. "Sleep well?" She sees the look on my face and immediately rolls her eyes. "Screw you, Warren." She walks into the kitchen and begins rummaging through the refrigerator, searching for something to eat. I watch her the entire time until Ridge taps me on the shoulder. "You had sex with her?" he signs. I immediately shake my head in defense. "No," I sign back. "Maybe. I don't know. It was an accident." Maggie and Ridge both laugh. He grabs Maggie's hand and pulls her toward his bedroom. "Come on," he signs. "I don't want to be here when Bridget realizes her mistake." I watch them retreat back to Ridge's room, and then I turn and face Bridget. She's glaring at me. "Did you just tell him we had sex?" I find myself once again shaking my head. "He already knew. I told him the other day." Bridget tilts her head to the side. "We had sex last night. How did you tell him before it happened?" I grin. "I had a good feeling." She lets her head drop back in defeat until she's staring up at the ceiling. "I knew it was a bad idea." "It was a great idea," I interject. She looks at me with as much seriousness as she can muster. "It was a one-time thing, Warren." I hold up 2 fingers. "It was twice, actually." She makes a face that lets me know just how much I'm irritating her. "I'm serious, Warren. We're not doing it again." "Thank God," I say, slowly stepping toward her. "Because it was awful, wasn't it? I could tell you weren't enjoying it." I continue across the kitchen until I'm less than a foot from touching her. "You especially weren't enjoying the part when you were on your back and my tongue was—" She slaps her hand over my mouth to shut me up. She's looking at me, narrow-eyed. "I'm serious, Warren. This changes nothing. We aren't a couple. In fact, I'll probably bring other guys home, and you need to be prepared for that." She removes her hand from my mouth, and I disagree. "You will not." She looks at me with a competitive gleam in her eyes. "I will. This is why I warned you not to get clingy." Ha! She thinks this is clingy? If she smiles and laughs like she did last night, she'll find out just how clingy I can be. "If you don't want me to want you anymore, it's not that hard," I tell her. "Just don't smile at me." I lean forward until my lips are at her ear. "If you don't smile at me, I won't have the urge to do all those bad things to you. Because your smile is incredible, Bridget." I pull away slowly and look down at her. She's attempting to control the rise and fall of her chest, but she's not fooling me. I grin, and the faintest of smiles appears on her lips. I reach my hand up and touch the corner of her mouth with my finger. "You're such a tease." She pulls away from me and calmly pushes against my chest. She grabs her drink and returns to her bedroom without another word. I press my head against the cabinet door and sigh heavily. What have I done? What, in God's name, have I done to myself? Bridget and I both had the day off today, and I was positive that after our interaction this morning, and especially after last night, that she'd be all over me by nightfall. However, she completely ignored me. She stayed in her room most of the day, and she wouldn't even acknowledge me. Now it's after 11 at night. I have to be at work tomorrow morning, and I know she has an early class, so my hope for around 3 is swiftly dwindling. She even locked the door when she took a shower earlier. I sit on the edge of my bed and contemplate the night before, going over every single move in my head, wondering where I went wrong. The only thing I can conclude is that I did nothing wrong. I did everything right, and this scared her, because she's not used to guys taking control over her. I made her feel weak. She doesn't like to feel weak. She obviously has serious power issues, and I messed with her head. This should probably make me feel guilty, but actually I'm proud. I love that I got to her. I love that I'm slowly figuring her out. And the best part is, I have a feeling that she'll be coming back for a repeat. Maybe not tonight, but she'll be back, because she's human. Every human has a weakness, and I think I just discovered what hers is. Me. I crawl under the covers and close my eyes, but I can already tell I won't be able to sleep. It's as if last night awakened this hunger inside of me, and if I don't feed it every night before I go to bed, I'll never fall asleep. I count sheep. I count stars. I repeat Bible verses in my head that I learned when I was 5. None of it works, because I'm still here an hour later, and I'm still wide awake. I wonder if she's awake. I wonder if she would open her door if I knocked. I toss the covers off and begin to walk to my door, but immediately U-turn to the nightstand for a condom. All I have on are boxers, so I slip it beneath the elastic band and open my bedroom door. Boobs. Her boobs. They're right here. Her hand is in the air, poised to knock on my door. She looks just as shocked that I opened it as I am that she's standing there. She's wearing a black lace bra and the tiniest pair of panties I've ever seen in my life. She lowers her arm and we stare at each other for a solid 5 seconds before I'm pulling her inside, slamming my door and pushing her up against it. Her tongue is in my mouth faster than I can slip my hand beneath her bra. "Is this what you sleep in?" I say against her mouth, pulling the straps of her bra down. "Yes," she says breathlessly. She tilts her head and pushes my face against her neck. "But sometimes I sleep naked." I groan and press myself against her, ready to sink myself inside of her. "I like it." I spin her around until her chest is pressed against the door and her back is to me. I wrap my arm around her and grab one of her breasts while I slide my other hand down to her ass. She's in a thong. A teeny, tiny, black, lacy, beautiful thong. I rub my hand over her and then slip my fingers beneath the thin veil of fabric, pulling it down to her knees. I watch as her thong falls to her ankles and she kicks it aside. I position myself directly behind her and run my hands down her back and to her waist. "Put your palms against the door." She doesn't move them right away. I can feel her hesitation. I'm sure she doesn't want to hand over control again, but she needs to realize she lost control the second she showed up at my bedroom door. I watch her as she slowly presses her palms against my bedroom door. I lean forward and brush her hair away from her neck, dropping it over her shoulder. "Thank you," I whisper against her neck. I pull her hips until she's flush against me, and then I remove my boxers and open the condom. "Bend over a little more," I tell her. She does. She's such a fast learner. I wrap my fingers in her hair and twist my hand around until I have a fistful of it, and then I tug just enough to get her to lift her face. She whimpers when I do this, and that little whimper is all it takes for me to push into her, as far as I can go until she's completely full. "Make that sound again," I whisper. She doesn't, so I tug at her hair. The noise escapes her throat, and it's so beautiful and full of desire. I pull out and push back into her, and the same sound passes her lips. I can't take it. I don't know if I can do this standing up, because that sound is making me dizzy. I cover one of her hands with mine and squeeze, giving myself the wall support I need to continue moving in and out of her. Every time she whimpers, I push into her a little bit harder. She begins to whimper over and over, occasionally replacing that sound with my name, and I already know I'm going to sleep like a rock tonight. Right when I feel myself growing close to release, I pull out of her and reposition her so that her back is against the door. I lift her legs and wrap them around my waist, sliding back inside of her with ease. I keep one arm wrapped around her waist to hold her up and my other hand pressed against the door for support. My tongue is fighting hers, and I'm swallowing every sound she's willing to give me. Her hands are gripping my neck, so I reach behind me and pull one of her hands away. I press her palm against her chest and slide it slowly down her stomach. My forehead meets hers and I look her hard in the eyes. Touch yourself. Her eyes grow wide, and she begins to shake her head. I place my hand on top of hers and I look down at where our bodies join together. I move her hand a few more inches until her fingers are right where I want them. Please, I breathe out, desperately. I need my hand for support, so I pull it away and press it against the door beside her head. I'm still holding her around the waist with my other arm and slowly pushing in and out of her. Our foreheads are still pressed together, but now my eyes are planted on her hand as she timidly begins to move her fingers in a slow, circular motion. Holy shit, I exhale. I watch her for a minute longer until she starts to relax against her hand, and then I move my eyes back to her face. I pull away and stare down at her, watching as her head falls back against the door. Her eyes are closed and her lips are slightly parted, and all I can feel in my heart is kiss her. Kiss her. My lips come down gently against hers and she moans softly into my mouth. I tease her lips with the tip of my tongue, sliding it across her top lip and then her bottom. Her moans are becoming more frequent, and the more I press her against the door, the better I can feel her hand moving between us. I can't believe this is real life. I can't believe she lives 5 feet away from me and she's willing to give me this part of her. I'm the luckiest man in the world. She starts to whimper again, but this time my mouth is resting against hers and I take in every single one of the sounds she makes. She tilts her face more and more to mine, wanting me to kiss her hard, but I'm enjoying this too much. I love the way she looks right now, eyes closed, mouth open, heart exposed. I don't want to kiss her. I want to keep my eyes open and watch every second of this. I stop moving inside of her and wait for her to finish, because if I keep moving, I won't last another second. She begins to open her eyes, wondering why I stopped, so I lean into her ear. You're almost there, I whisper. I just want to watch you. She relaxes again, and I continue to watch her, soaking up every whimper and every moan and every movement she makes like I'm a sponge and she's my water. As soon as her legs begin to tighten around my waist, I grip her hips with both hands and resume moving inside of her. Her whimpers turn into moans, and her moans turn into my name, and it takes us all of 10 seconds before we're both shaking and gasping for breath and kissing and groping and then finally sighing. Her body weakens in my arms, and she lays her head against my chest. I bring my hand up to her neck and kiss her softly on top of the head. After a solid minute of working to catch our breath and regain the ability to move, I slowly begin to pull out of her. She lowers her feet to the floor and looks up at me. She's not smiling, but I can see the calmness behind her eyes. This was exactly what she needed. Exactly what I needed. Thank you, she says matter-of-factly. I grin. You're welcome. She ducks her head as soon as she begins to smile and slips under my arm. She enters the bathroom and closes the door behind her. I lean against the wall and slide down to the floor, completely unable to will my legs to make it back to the bed. If I didn't have to wait on her to finish in the bathroom, I'd fall asleep right here on the floor. Chapter 7. 3 solid weeks. 21 nights. Over 30 times we've had sex. Absolutely zero interaction during the day. I don't really understand her. I don't know her well enough to know what sets her off, or in turn what makes her so quiet. I don't know why she refuses to treat what's going on between us like it's anything remotely significant, but I'm not complaining. I mean, come on. We have sex every night, and I don't have to dote on her during the day. I would have the perfect setup if I didn't want just a little bit more from her. But until I can get to another level with Bridget, I know nothing better come between us, especially a new roommate, which is what I'm afraid might happen. Brennan has officially gone on tour and moved out, which means his room is now up for grabs. I can't take the idea of Bridget's sister moving in, which is something I've heard them discussing on the phone. I don't know what or whom Ridge has in mind, but I for sure don't think I can take the possibility of another guy moving in. As much as I want to pretend I'm as casual with this arrangement as Bridget is, if another guy even looks at her ass in those shorts, I won't be able to refrain from beating his ass. And I'm not even the type of guy who fights other guys, but Bridget makes me want to fight everyone, even the nerdy guys. I'll hit all the humans if it means keeping up the arrangement I've got going with her. Which is why I can't stop staring at the couch right now. There's a person on it. I think it's a girl because I see blonde hair peeking out from under the pillow pulled over her face, but it could be a long-haired guy. A guy I don't want to be our next roommate. I continue to watch the couch, waiting for the person to wake up. I'm loud enough in the kitchen to wake up the whole apartment, but whoever is on this couch is sleeping like a rock. I finish pouring my bowl of cereal and bring it into the living room. Since whoever this is has decided to take up residence where I eat breakfast, I take a seat on the floor, right in front of the couch. I begin eating, crunching as loud as I can. I wonder if she or he is a friend of Bridget's. No, Bridget didn't bring anyone home last night. I know this because I picked her up after I got off work, and we came straight home and went straight to my bed. Come to think of it, we didn't even turn on the living room lights, so I'm pretty sure whoever this is was probably on the couch last night. We just didn't notice. Oh man, I wonder if we were loud. We never have to worry about how loud we are when Ridge is home. A groan comes from beneath the pillow, and the body rolls over, facing me so I can see it is, in fact, a girl. I continue to sit on the floor, eating my cereal. I watch her attempt to open her eyes. "Who are you, and why are you asleep on my couch?" I finally ask her. Her whole body jerks at the sound of my voice. She lifts the pillow and backs away, making eye contact with me. I have to stifle a laugh because someone has written, "Someone wrote on your forehead," on her face with a Sharpie. It was more than likely Ridge, so I do what I can to avoid looking at it and stare at her eyes instead. "Are you the new roommate?" I ask with a mouthful of cereal. She shakes her head. "No," she says. "I'm a friend of Ridge's." Didn't see that one coming. Ridge only has one friend, me. She rolls her eyes and sits up on the couch. She's cute. Very impressive, Ridge. "Jealous?" she asks, stretching into a yawn. "What's his last name?" "Whose last name?" "Your very good friend Ridge." She sighs and her head falls against the back of the couch. "I don't know Ridge's last name," she says. "I don't even know his middle name. The only thing I know about him is he's got a mean right hook. And I'm only asleep on your couch because my boyfriend of 2 years decided it would be fun to screw my roommate, and I really didn't want to stick around to watch." I like this girl. She could give Bridget a run for her money. And I don't mean with me, I just mean because Bridget is mean and probably doesn't meet a lot of girls who would stand up to her. This could be fun. "It's Lawson," I say, "and he doesn't have a middle name." I hear Bridget's bedroom door open, and I immediately turn around to face her. She's still wearing my boxer shorts from last night, but she's put on her own t-shirt over them. God, she looks good. "Good morning, Bridget. Sleep well?" She looks at me briefly and rolls her eyes. "Screw you, Warren." Which, in Bridget speak, means, "Yes, Warren, I slept like a baby, thanks to you." "That's Bridget," I whisper, turning back to the girl on the couch. "She pretends to hate me during the day, but at night she loves me." The girl laughs and makes a face like she doesn't believe me. "Shit!" Bridget yells. I turn around in time to watch her catch herself by grabbing the bar. "Jesus Christ!" She kicks one of the suitcases that are still on the floor next to the bar. Tell your little friend if she's staying here she needs to take her shit to her room. My little friend? I turned to face the girl on the couch again, wide-eyed. I think Bridget already has an issue with this girl. All the more reason to make sure she becomes the new roommate, because I like an angry Bridget. I'm also willing to bet a jealous Bridget would be a lot more clingy, which could work in my favor. I turn and glare at Bridget from where I'm seated. What am I, your bitch? Tell her yourself. Bridget glances at the girl on the couch, then points to the suitcase she almost tripped over. Get your shit out of the kitchen, she says before marching back to her bedroom. I slowly turn my head to face the girl again. Why does she think you're deaf? She shrugs. I have no idea. She came to that conclusion last night, and I failed to correct her. I laugh. What a perfect prank, and I didn't even have to think of it. Oh, this is classic, I say to her. Do you have any pets? She shakes her head. Are you opposed to porn? Not opposed to the principle of porn, but slightly opposed to being featured in one. A nod, because that's probably a good thing. At least I won't have double the reason to watch every porn I can get my hands on. Do you have annoying friends? My best friend is a backstabbing whore, and I'm no longer speaking to her. What are your showering habits? She laughs. Once a day, with a skip day every now and then, no more than 15 minutes. Do you cook? Only when I'm hungry. Do you clean up after yourself? Probably better than you, she says, glancing at my shirt, which I've used for a napkin several times during this conversation. Do you listen to disco? I'd rather eat barbed wire. She's perfect for us. All right, then, I tell her. I guess you can stay. She sits up straighter and pulls her legs onto the couch. I didn't realize I was being interviewed. I look at her suitcase and then back at her. Most people don't travel with all of their belongings, and if she's in search of somewhere to live, I want it to be here so I can ensure the new roommate doesn't have a dick. It's obvious you need a place to stay, and we've got an empty room. If you don't take it, Bridget wants to move her sister in next month, and that's the last thing Ridge and I need. I can't stay here, she says, shaking her head. Why not? From the sound of it, you're about to spend the day searching for an apartment anyway. What's wrong with this one? You won't even have to walk very far to get here. The door to Ridge's bedroom opens, and I can see the girl's eyes widen slightly, as if she's nervous. That's probably not a good sign for Ridge, but he's so hung up on Maggie, adding this chick as a roommate shouldn't be an issue for any of us. I wink at her and stand up to walk my bowl back to the kitchen. I speak and sign at the same time. Have you met our new roommate? Ridge glances at her and then looks back at me. Yeah, he signs. She needs a place to stay, so I'll probably just let her use Brennan's room. Or if you want, she can take your room and you can take Brennan's, so we both aren't having to share a bathroom with girls. I shake my head. No way are you putting me further away from Bridget. Our bathroom sex is my favorite. Ridge shakes his head. You're pathetic. He walks back to his room, and I look at our new roommate. What did he say? She asks, nervously. Exactly what I thought he'd say, I tell her. I walk to my room and grab my keys off the dresser. I glance into the bathroom and see Bridget at the sink. I swing the door open and give her a quick kiss on the cheek. She tries to pull away from me, but I also see the smile tugging at her lips. My eyes fall to the black Sharpie sitting next to the sink. I pick it up and eye Bridget suspiciously. She shrugs her shoulders and I laugh. I didn't think she had it in her, but after the water cup prank and now this, I fear I might have met my match. At least the new roommate is being hazed early. I close the bathroom door and head back out into the living room. He says you two already worked out a deal. I point to Brennan's old room. Heading to work now. That's your room if you want to put your stuff in it. You might have to throw all Brennan's shit in the corner, though. I open the door and step outside, but turn around before I close it. Oh, what's your name? Sydney. Well, Sydney, welcome to the weirdest place you'll ever live. I close the door behind me, feeling slightly guilty that I may have swayed this roommate thing a little in my favor. But seriously, Not only does this ensure our new roommate won't be putting the moves on Bridget, it also makes for an interesting dynamic. 2 girls in a prank war may be the best thing that ever happened to Ridge and me.
Chapter 8. So what's with the new roommate? I sign to Ridge when I walk in the door. She lives in the complex. Her boyfriend cheated on her, and she needed a place to stay. I walk over to the table he's seated at and pull the chair out. She's still here? He looks up from the laptop and nods. Yeah, she'll probably be here for a few weeks at least. That okay? Something is off with him. When you've known someone most of your life, you can almost feel their unease. This Sydney girl makes him nervous, and I don't know why. Is Maggie okay with it? His attention quickly moves back to his laptop. He nods his head and stops signing. I push my chair out and glance at the door to see if Bridget's shoes are where she always keeps them. They aren't. I tap Ridge on the shoulder. Where's Bridget? I sign. He shifts in his seat. Out. Out where? He shrugs. Warren, do you really want to know? Because you aren't going to like it. I sit in the chair again. Hell yes, I want to know. Where is she? He leans back in his chair and sighs. A guy picked her up about 3 hours ago, and it looked like they were going out. Out, I sign. Out like on a date? He nods. I suddenly want to punch Ridge, but I know he has nothing to do with it. I stand up and push the chair back under the table. She's on a date. Bridget is on a fucking date. This is such bullshit. Why didn't I set boundaries? Why didn't I tell her she couldn't see other guys? What if she brings him back here? She will. She's so mean she probably will. I grab my keys and sign to Ridge that I'll be back in a little while. I'll fix this. Somehow. I'm seated on the couch 2 hours later when the door opens. As expected, she doesn't walk in alone. A guy is following behind her, way too close. His hand is on her lower back as she slips her shoes off at the door and looks straight at me. Oh, hey, Warren. She points to me. Guy, this is Warren. Warren, this is Guy. I look at him, all 6 metrosexual douchebag feet of him. Your name is Guy? He doesn't respond. He just looks at Bridget like he's a little uncomfortable that he just walked into her apartment and a guy is sitting on her couch. I bet he'd be really uncomfortable to know what I was doing on this same couch with Bridget just 24 hours ago. Warren, Bridget says in a sickeningly fake, sweet voice, do you mind giving us some privacy? She glances toward my bedroom, silently asking if I'll go wait it out in there while she flirts in my living room with Guy. I narrow my eyes at her. She's doing this on purpose. She's testing me, and I'm about to ace this test. Sure will, Bridget, I say with a smile. I stand up and walk over to Guy, reaching out for his hand. Good to meet you, I say to him. He smiles, and his apprehension eases when he sees I've loosened up. You kiddos have fun. I'll leave the bathroom door unlocked in case either of you needs to use it. I point toward the bathroom, planting the seed. Please, let him have to use the restroom. Please. Bridget can see that my last comment was out of character. She squints her eyes at me as I retreat to my room. I close the door and stay right next to it. I'm not about to miss a second of this. If she's going to try and test me or torture me by bringing another guy home, she has to expect I'll eavesdrop on their entire conversation. I stand with my ear pressed to the door for at least 15 minutes. In those 15 minutes, I hear him go on and on about everything he's good at. Baseball, football, tennis, trivia. He actually forced her to quiz him. Work, he's a salesman. He's the best, apparently. Highest sales for the last 4 quarters. He's a world traveler, of course. He speaks French, of course. Bridget yawns 4 times during the conversation. I feel like this act she's putting on is exhausting her more than it is me. Mind if I use your restroom? Guy says. Finally. A few seconds later, I hear the door close to the restroom, and I immediately open my bedroom door and walk to the kitchen. Bridget is seated on the couch with her feet propped up on the coffee table. You look bored to death, I tell her. "He's riveting," she says with a fake smile. "I'm having so much fun, I'll probably ask him to stay the night." I smile, knowing that won't happen. "He'll never agree to that, Bridget," I tell her. In fact, I look down at my wrist and tap it. I'm pretty sure he'll be leaving as soon as he exits the restroom. She sits up straight on the couch and then comes to a quick stand. She stalks over to me, pointing her finger, pushing it against my chest. "What did you do, Warren?" The bathroom door opens and Guy walks out. Bridget faces him with her obnoxious fake smile. "Want to hang out in my room?" she says, walking toward him. He glances at me, and I shake my head quickly. For all he knows, I'm just warning him, man to man, that he better run while he still can. I can tell he's terrified after seeing what I've planted in the restroom. He glances at the door and back at Bridget. "Actually, I was just about to leave," he says. "I'll call you." The next few seconds are the most awkward seconds I've ever seen play out between two people. He reaches in for a handshake. She goes in for a hug. He backs away, afraid she's about to try to kiss him, and his eyes grow wide with fear. He rushes around her and heads straight for the door. "Nice to meet you, Warren. I'll call you later, Bridget." And he's gone. She slowly turns to face me. Her eyes are as sharp as diamonds. I'm scared they're sharp enough to slit my throat. I wipe the smile off my face and walk toward my bedroom. "Good night, Bridget." Nice try, Bridget. Nice try. Son of a bitch! My bathroom door swings open and she marches straight toward my bed. I was studying, but I quickly throw my books aside when I see her coming at me. She jumps onto the bed, standing, and walks across it. She holds her hands up in the air, and that's when I notice she's holding something. I notice it too late, though, because the cream squirts out of the tube and onto the top of my head. "Hemorrhoid cream?" she yells, tossing it aside. She grabs another tube of cream that was tucked under her arm. "Wart remover?" She squeezes it onto my pillow. I'm trying to cover my head with the blanket, but she's getting the stuff everywhere. I pull her legs out from under her, and she falls on the bed. Then she starts kicking me and throwing the tubes at me. "Cold sore relief?" She squirts that one right in my face. "I can't believe you put all these in our bathroom. I swear to God you're a little boy, Warren, a jealous little boy." I pull the rest of the tubes from her hands, and I wrestle her onto her back, locking her arms to the mattress. "You're such an asshole," she yells. I struggle to hold her still. "If I'm an asshole, then you're a cold-hearted, calculating, ruthless bitch." She grunts, trying to free herself from my grip. I refuse to budge, but I also do my best to remove the anger from my voice and speak to her calmly. "What was that about, Bridget? Huh? Why the hell did you bring him here?" She stops struggling long enough to smile in my face. Knowing that my jealousy makes her smile pisses me off even more. I hold both of her wrists with one hand and reach beside her head, grabbing a tube of the cream. I flip the lid open and squirt it in her hair. She starts thrashing beneath me, and God, I'm so mad at her. Why would she do that? I grab her jaw and hold her face so she'll look at me. She realizes she's not overpowering me physically, so she relents. Her chest is heaving and she's gasping for breath. I can see anger in her eyes. I have no idea what gives her the right to be mad when she's the one fucking with my head. I lower my forehead to hers and close my eyes. "Why?" I say, breathless. The room grows quiet. "Why did you bring him here?" She sighs and turns her head. I pull back and look down on her, convinced I see more pain in her features than anger. Her voice is quiet when she speaks. "Why do you let another girl move in today?" I know that was hard for her, because her question proves that she cares. That question proves that I wasn't the only one fearing a new roommate would come between us. She's scared I'll move on. She's scared that Sydney is going to come between us, so she tried to hurt me first. "You think things might change between us just because another girl moved in?" I ask her. She looks over my shoulder so she doesn't have to look me in the eyes. I tilt her jaw and make her look at me. "Is that why you brought him here?" Her eyes narrow, and she tightens her lips, refusing to admit she was hurt. "Just say it," I beg. I need her to say it out loud. All I need is for her to admit she brought him here because she was hurt and scared. I need her to admit that there's an actual heart inside her chest, and that sometimes it beats for me. Since she won't admit it, I'll admit it for her. You've never let anyone close enough to where their absence could hurt you. But it would hurt you if I left you, so you wanted to hurt me first. I press my lips closer to her ear. You did, I whisper. Seeing you walk through that door with him hurt like hell. But I'm not going anywhere, Bridget, and I'm not interested in anyone else. So that little game you tried to play backfired, because from now on the only man you're allowed to bring home is the one who already lives here. I slowly pull back and look her in the eyes. Understood? In true Bridget form, she refuses to answer, but I also know that her refusal to answer is her way of saying I'm right and that she agrees. She's breathing so much heavier than she was a few minutes ago. I'm almost certain I am, too, because it doesn't feel like my lungs are working anymore. I can't inhale, no matter how hard I try, because the need to kiss her has taken over my passageways. I need her air. I force my mouth against hers, and I kiss her with a possessiveness I didn't even know was in me. I kiss her so desperately I forget that I'm still mad at her. My tongue dives into her mouth, and she takes it, giving me her own desperate kiss in return, grabbing at my face, pulling me closer. I can feel her in this kiss like I've never felt her before. It's probably the best kiss I've ever experienced with her because it's the first kiss with actual emotions behind it. Even though it's the best kiss, it's also one of the shortest. She shoves me away from her. She's out of my bed, out of my bedroom, and out of my line of sight as the bathroom door slams behind her. I roll onto my back and stare up at the ceiling. She's so confusing. She's so frustrating. She's so damn unpredictable. She's nothing I've ever wanted in a girl, and absolutely everything I need. I hear the water in the shower start running, so I immediately roll off the bed and walk into the bathroom. My heart tightens a little when the doorknob turns and I realize she didn't lock it behind her. I know this sign means she wants me to follow her. What she wants me to do once I'm inside this bathroom is a mystery, though. Does she want me to take her against the shower wall? Does she want me to apologize to her? Does she want me to talk to her? I don't know with her. I never know. So I do what I always do and wait for her to show me what she needs. I walk into the bathroom and grab a towel to wipe all the damn cream out of my hair. I get as much out as I can and then close the lid to the toilet and take a seat on it, listening quietly as she continues her shower. I know she knows I'm here, but she doesn't speak. I'd even take her insults right now if it meant she would say something to alleviate the silence. I lean forward and clasp my hands between my knees. Does this scare you, Bridget? I know she hears me, but she doesn't answer. That means yes. I let my head fall into my hands, and I vow to remain calm. This is how she relates. She doesn't know any different. Somehow, over the course of her 22 years, she's never learned how to love, or even communicate, really. That's not her fault. Have you ever been in love before? It's a slightly generic question. I don't ask if she could fall in love with me specifically, so maybe the question won't piss her off. I hear a relenting sigh come from behind the shower curtain. I think it takes being loved in order to know how to love, she says quietly. So I guess that's a no. I wince at her answer. What a sad, sad answer. One I wasn't expecting. You can't really believe that, Bridget. Silence follows. She doesn't reply. Your mother loved you, I say to her. My mother gave me to my grandmother when I was 6 months old. I'm sure your grandmother loved you. A quiet, pained laugh comes from the shower. I'm sure she did, but not enough to stay alive for more than a year. After she died, I lived with my aunt, who made it very obvious she didn't love me. My uncle did, though, just in all the wrong ways. I squeeze my eyes shut and allow her words to sink in. Brennan wasn't kidding when he said she'd had a rough life. And she's so casual about it, like she's just accepted that this is the kind of life she was given and that there's nothing she can do about it. A mixture of anger and sadness consumes me. Bridget, don't bother, Warren. I've dealt with my life the only way I know how. It works for me, and I don't need you or anyone else to try to figure me out or fix me. I am who I am, and I've accepted that. I clamp my mouth shut and don't offer her words of advice. I wouldn't know what to say anyway. I feel awful for wanting to prod her with more questions after that revelation, but I'm not sure when I'll get this side of her again. Bridget doesn't open up easily, and now I can see why. She doesn't seem to have had anyone to open up to, so this might be a first for her. What about your sister? Bridget releases a sigh. She's not even my real sister. We're stepsisters, and we didn't even grow up in the same house. I should stop with the questions. I know I should, but I can't. To know that she's probably never spoken or heard the words, "I love you," from anyone in her life is affecting me way more than I imagined it could. I'm sure you've had boyfriends who have loved you in the past. She laughs a really sad laugh, and then she just sighs an even sadder sigh. If you're planning on asking me questions like this all night, I'd much rather you just fuck me. I cover my mouth with my hand, absorbing her words like a knife to the chest. She seriously can't be this broken. No one can be this alone, can they? Have you ever loved anyone, Bridget? Silence. Complete silence until her voice shatters it like glass. It's hard to fall in love with assholes, Warren. That's a comment from a girl who's been jaded way too many times. I stand up and slide the shower curtain open. She's standing beneath the stream of water. Mascara has streaked its way down her cheeks. Maybe you just haven't met the right asshole yet. She immediately lets out a quick burst of laughter, along with a few tears. Her eyes are sad, and her smile is appreciative, and for the first time she's completely bare. It's as though she's holding her heart out to me, begging me not to break it. The vulnerability she's showing me right now is something I'm almost positive she's never shown anyone else. No other man, at least. I step into the shower. She looks at me in shock as my clothes quickly become drenched. I take her face in my hands, and I kiss her. I don't kiss her fast. I don't kiss her rough. I don't kiss her hard. I press my lips to hers with such delicacy. I want her to feel everything she's ever deserved to feel at the hands of someone else. She deserves to feel beautiful. She deserves to feel important. She deserves to feel cared for. She deserves to feel respected. She deserves to feel like there's at least one other person in this world who accepts her for exactly who she is. She deserves to know how I feel, because I feel all of those things, and maybe a little more. Chapter 9. Since that day in the shower, things have changed between us. Not that she had this miraculous personality shift, or that she's actually nice to me during the day. In fact, she's still pretty damn mean to me most of the time. She also still thinks Sydney is deaf, which is almost unbelievable that the prank has gone on for this long. So I can't even say that my excitement over pranking her has changed. What has changed are our nights together. The sex. It's different now. Slower. Way more eye contact. Way more kissing. Way more build-up. Way more kissing. So much kissing. And not just on the mouth. She kisses me everywhere, and she takes her time when she does it. And she enjoys it. She still isn't the type to want to cuddle afterward, and she always kicks me out of her bed before the sun comes up. But still, it's different. That night in the shower tore a wall down between us, because I know that every night when I have her in bed, she gives me a part of herself that no one else has ever seen, and that's enough to keep me happy for a long damn time. I just hope today doesn't ruin that. We both have the day off, and that doesn't happen very often between both of our jobs and school. I have a few errands to run, and I ask her to go with me, which might be a little strange. We've been sleeping together for a few months now, but this is the first time we've ever actually done anything that didn't involve sex. Which also makes me wonder if I should ask her out on a date eventually. I know she's not a typical girl, but surely she likes some of the things other girls do, like being taken out on dates. But she's never hinted that she wants me to take her on one, and frankly, I'm scared to ask her. I feel like our setup is perfect for both of us, and if we start throwing dates into the mix, it'll screw it all up. That includes daytime dates, like today. Like what we're about to do. Shit. So, Sydney says. She's seated on the couch next to me. I'm watching porn, naturally, because Bridget still refuses to give me the name of the one she was in. Sydney doesn't mind it, though. She's focusing on her homework, oblivious to the fact that I'm kind of having a minor internal freak-out over the fact that I may or may not have just invited Bridget on a daytime date to run errands. What's up with Bridget? I glance at Sydney, and she's still focusing on her textbook, making notes. What do you mean? Sydney shrugs. She's just so mean. I laugh, because it's true. Bridget can be awful. She can't help it, I say. She's had a rough life. So is Ridge, Sydney says. But he doesn't bite people's heads off when they try to speak to him. That's because Ridge is deaf. He can't yell at people. It's physically impossible for him. Sydney looks at me and rolls her eyes, laughing. She elbows me in the ribs just as Bridget walks out of her bedroom. Bridget glares at Sydney, and I hate that she still assumes there could ever be something between Sydney and me. I like her, and I think she's cool, but I have a feeling Ridge would put a stop to that in a heartbeat. Which isn't a good thing, considering Ridge has Maggie. But those are issues I don't feel like getting involved in at the moment, because my issue is glaring right at me. Please don't tell me you invited your little girlfriend, Bridget says, shifting her eyes toward Sydney. Sydney is really good at this prank thing. She doesn't even bat an eye when Bridget talks about her. She just goes on pretending she can't hear a word Bridget says. I'm pretty sure Sydney has gone on this long with the prank because it's a whole lot easier than having to actually speak to Bridget. She's not coming, I say, standing up. She has plans. Bridget turns away, giving her attention to the purse she just slung over her shoulder. I walk up to her and wrap my arms around her from behind. I'm kidding, I whisper in her ear. I didn't invite anyone else to run errands with me today but you. Bridget's hand meets my forehead, and she pushes me away from her. I'll stay here if you expect today to be like this. I take a step back. Like what? She points at me. You. Touching me. Kissing me. PDA. Gross. She walks to the front door, and I clutch my hand to my heart and wince at Sydney. Good luck, she mouths as I make my way to the door. Once we're in my car, and it's moving away from the apartment, Bridget finally speaks. So where are we going first? I need to go to Walgreens before we come back. First we go to my sister's house, then we go to the bank, then we go to Walgreens. Then we go eat lunch. Then we go home. Her hand flies up, and she holds up a finger. What did you just say? I repeat myself. First we go to my sister's house, then we go to... Why the hell are you taking me to your sister's house? I don't want to meet your sister, Warren. We aren't that kind of couple. I roll my eyes and grab the hand she's holding up in protest. I'm not bringing you as my girlfriend. You can stay in the damn car for all I care. I just need to drop off a package at her house. This actually eases her apprehension. She relaxes into the seat and flips her hand over so that I can slide my fingers through hers. I look down at our hands, and seeing them linked together on the seat between us feels like I just went further with her than the night we first had sex. She would have never let me hold her hand back then. Hell, she would have never let me hold her hand last month. But we're holding hands now. Maybe I should ask her out on a date. She pulls her hand from mine, and I immediately glance up at her. She's staring straight at me. You were smiling too much, she says. What? I reach over and grab her hand again and pull it back to me. I was smiling because I like holding your hand. She yanks her hand back. I know. That's why I don't want you to hold it. God damn it, she's not winning this one. I reach across the seat again, swerving the car in the process. She tries to shove her hand beneath her legs so that I can't grasp it, so I pull at her wrist instead. I release the steering wheel and reach across with both hands now, steering with my knee. Give me your hand, I say through clenched teeth. I want to hold your damn hand. I have to grab the wheel to steer us back into our lane. Once we're no longer in danger of crashing, I slam on the brakes as I pull over to the side of the road. I throw the car in park and lock the doors so she can't run. I know how she works. I lean across the seat and pry her hand away from being tucked against her chest. I grab her wrist with both hands and I pull her toward me. She's still trying to fight me by pulling her hand away, so I release her and look her directly in the eye. Give me your hand. I'm not sure if I just scared her a little, but she relaxes and allows me to grab her wrist. I put her wrist in my left hand and I hold my right hand in front of hers. Spread your fingers. She makes a fist instead. I pry open her fist, then force our fingers to intertwine. I hate that she's being so resistant. She's pissing me the hell off. All I want to do is hold her damn hand, and she's making such a big deal out of it. We're doing everything backward in this relationship. Couples are supposed to start out holding hands and going on dates. Not us. We start out fighting, end up screwing, yet we apparently haven't even made it to the point where we can hold hands. If things continue at this rate, we'll probably move in together before we even go on our first date. I squeeze her hand until I know she can't pull away from me. I scoot back to my seat and I put the car in drive with my left hand and then ease back onto the road. We drive the next several miles in silence, and she occasionally tries to ease her hand from mine, but each time she does it, I squeeze a little tighter and get even more agitated with her. She's gonna hold my damn hand whether she likes it or not. We hit a red light, and the lack of movement outside the car and the lack of conversation inside the car shifts the mood tremendously, thickening the air with tension and laughter. She's laughing at me. Figures. I slowly tilt my head in her direction, giving her a sidelong glance. She's covering her mouth with her free hand, trying not to laugh, but she is. She's laughing so hard that her body is shaking. I have no idea what she finds funny, but I'm not laughing with her. And as much as I want to turn away and punch the steering wheel, I can't stop watching her. I watch the tears form at the corners of her eyes, and I watch her chest heave when she attempts to catch her breath. I watch her lick her lips as she tries to stop herself from smiling so much. I watch her run her free hand through her hair as she sighs, coming down from her fit of laughter. She finally looks at me. She's no longer laughing, but the residue is still there. The smile is still on her mouth, and her cheeks are still a shade pinker than normal, and her mascara is smudged at the corners of her eyes. She shakes her head, keeping her focus on me. "You're insane, Warren." She laughs again, but only for a second. The fact that I'm not smiling is making her uncomfortable. "Why am I insane?" "Because," she says, "who throws that big a fit over holding someone's hand?" I don't move a muscle. "You do, Bridget." The smile slowly leaves her face because she knows I'm right. She knows that she's the one who made a big deal out of holding hands. It was me who wanted to show her how easy it was. We both look down at our hands as I slowly pry my fingers away from hers and release my grip. The light turns green as I grab the steering wheel and press on the gas. "You sure do know how to make a guy feel like shit, Bridget." I give my full attention back to the road and rest my left elbow on the window. I cover my mouth with my hand, squeezing the stress out of my jaw. We make it 3 blocks. 3 blocks is all it takes for her to do the most considerate thing she's ever done for me since the moment I met her. She reaches to the steering wheel and takes my hand. She pulls it to her lap and slides her fingers between mine. She doesn't stop there, though. Her right hand slides over the top of my hand, and she strokes it. She strokes my fingers and the top of my hand and my wrist and back down to my fingers. She stares out her window the whole time. But I can feel her. I can feel her speaking to me and holding me and making love to me, all in the motion of her hands. And I smiled the entire way to my sister's house. "Is she older or younger than you?" Bridget asks when I turn off the ignition. 10 years older. We both exit the car and begin walking toward the house. I didn't ask her to come with me, but the fact that she didn't wait in the car is proof that another wall has been torn down between us. I walk up the steps, but before I knock on the door, I turn and face her. "What do you want me to introduce you as?" I ask her. "Roommate? Friend? Girlfriend?" She glances away and shrugs. I don't care, really. Just don't make it weird. I smile and knock on the door. I immediately hear tiny footsteps and squealing and things falling and... Shit, I forgot how crazy it is over here. I probably should have warned her. The door swings open and my nephew, Brody, jumps up and down. "Uncle Warren!" he yells, clapping his hands. I open the screen door, set the package my mother sent for my sister on the floor, and immediately swoop Brody up. "Where's your mom?" He points across the living room. "In the kitchen," he says. His hand meets my cheek and he makes me face him. "Want to play dead?" I nod and set him down on the carpet. I motion for Bridget to follow me inside, and then I fake stab Brody in the chest. He falls to the floor in a dramatic display of defeat. Bridget and I both stand over him as he writhes in pain. His body convulses a few times, and then his head falls limp to the carpet. "He dies better than any 4-year-old I've ever seen," I say to Bridget. She nods, still staring down at him. "I'm in awe," she says. "Brody!" my sister yells from the kitchen. "Is that Warren?" I begin walking in the direction of the kitchen, and Bridget follows me. When I round the corner, Whitney has Connor on her hip, and she's stirring something on the stove with her other arm. "Brody's dead, but yeah, it's me," I say to her. As soon as Whitney glances at me, cries come from the baby monitor next to the stove. She sighs, exasperated, and motions for me to come to the stove. I walk over to her and take the spoon from her hands. "It has to be stirred for at least another minute, then remove the burner from the pan." "You mean remove the pan from the burner?" "Whatever," she says. She pulls Connor off her hip and walks toward Bridget. "Here, hold Connor. I'll be right back." Bridget instinctively holds out her hands, and my sister shoves Connor at her. Bridget's arms are outstretched as far from her body as she can get them. She's holding Connor under his armpits, staring at me wide-eyed. "What do I do with it?" she whispers. Her eyes are filled with terror. "Have you never held a kid before?" I ask in disbelief. Bridget immediately shakes her head. "I don't know any kids." "Me a kid," Connor says. Bridget gasps and looks at Connor, who is staring right back at her with just as much terror and fascination. "It talked!" she exclaims. "Oh my God, you talked!" Connor grins. "Say cat," Bridget says. "Cat," Connor repeats. She laughs nervously, but is still holding him like he's a dirty towel. I remove the pot from the burner and turn it off, then walk over to her. "Connor's the easy one," I tell her. "Here, hold him like this." I pull him around to her hip and wrap her arm behind him, securing him against her waist. She's trading nervous glances between Connor and me. "He won't shit on me, will he?" I laugh, and Connor giggles. He slaps her chest twice and kicks his legs. "Shit on me," he says, still laughing. Bridget's hand clamps over her mouth. "Oh my God, he's just like a parrot," she says. "Warren!" Whitney yells from the top of the stairs. "I'll be right back." Bridget shakes her head and points to Connor. But this..." she stutters. I pat her on top of her head. "You'll be fine. Just keep him alive for 2 minutes." I scale the steps, and Whitney is standing in the doorway to the nursery. She's wiping her neck with a rag. "He pissed in my face," she says. She looks so frazzled. I want to hug her, and I would if she weren't covered in infant piss. She hands me the baby. "Take him downstairs while I jump in the shower, please." I lift him out of her hands. "No problem." She begins to head to her room, but pauses right before I make it back to the stairs. "Hey," she says. I turn and face her. "Who's the girl?" she signs. I love that she signs this, so Bridget has no chance of hearing her ask. Having a family that is all fluent in sign language definitely comes in handy. "Just my roommate," I sign back to her, shrugging it off. She smiles and walks into her room. I walk down the stairs, holding the baby against my chest. I step over Brody, who is still playing dead on the floor. When I make it to the doorway in the kitchen, I pause. Bridget has sat Connor on the kitchen island. She's standing right in front of him so that he doesn't fall, and she's holding up her fingers, counting with him. 3. Can you count to 3? Connor touches his fingers to the tips of hers. 1, 2, 3,
he says. They both start clapping, and he says, "Me now." Bridget begins to count his fingers this time. I lean my head against the doorframe and watch her interact with him. I don't know why I've never spent time with her outside of the bedroom before this. I could add up all the things she's done to me at night, and I'm positive I wouldn't trade today for all of that combined. This is the Bridget that I see, the part of her she gives to me. And now that I'm watching her, I see she's very capable of giving it to others who deserve it. "Do you stare at all your roommates like this?" Whitney whispers in my ear. I spin around, and she's standing behind me, watching me watch Bridget. I shake my head and look back at Bridget. No, I don't. As soon as I say it, I regret saying it. Whitney will be texting me within the hour, wanting to know all the details. How long I've known her, where she's from, if I'm in love with her. Time to leave. "Ready, Bridget?" I ask, handing the baby back to Whitney. Bridget glances up at me and then back to Connor. She actually looks a little sad that she has to say goodbye. "Bye, Bridget," Connor says to her with a wave. Bridget gasps and turns to face me. "Oh my God, Warren, he said my name." She turns back to Connor, and he's still waving. "Shit on me," he says. Bridget immediately picks him up and sets him down on the floor. "Ready?" she says quickly, walking away from him and toward the front door. Whitney is pointing at Connor and looking at me. "Did he just say—" I nod. "I think he did, Whit. You need to watch your language around your kids." I give her a quick kiss on the cheek and head for the front door. Bridget is standing over Brody, looking down at him. Seriously impressive. He's in the exact same position we left him in. I told you, he dies better than anyone I know. I step over him and hold the front door open for her. We walk outside, and she doesn't even flinch or pull away when I slide my fingers through hers. I walk her to the passenger side door, but before I open it, I turn her to face me and I press her against the car. My hand touches her forehead and I wipe away a wisp of hair. "I never thought I wanted kids," she says, glancing back at the house. "But you do now?" She shakes her head. "No, not really. But maybe if I could have Connor, at that age, for like a year, maybe 2. Then I'd probably get tired of him and not want him anymore, but a year or 2 out of my life might be fun." I laugh. "So why don't you kidnap him and bring him back when he's 5? She faces me again. "But you would know it was me who took him." I smile down at her. I would never tell. I like you better than I like him. She shakes her head. "You love your sister too much to do that to her. It would never work. We'd have to kidnap someone else's kid." I sigh. "Yeah, you're probably right. Besides, we should probably kidnap a celebrity's kid. That way we could get ransom out of it and never have to work again. We could give the kid back, take the money, and spend the rest of our lives having sex all day." Bridget smiles. "You're so romantic, Warren. No other guy has ever promised me a kidnapping and ransom." I tilt her chin up so that her mouth is positioned closer to mine. "Like I said, you just haven't met the right asshole." I press my lips to hers and kiss her briefly. I keep it PG in case Brody has come back to life and is watching us. I reach behind her and open the door. She walks around me to climb inside, but before she does, she stands on her tiptoes and kisses me on the cheek. To Brody or anyone else watching, that was just a kiss on the cheek. But knowing Bridget like I know her, that was a whole lot more than just a kiss. That was her saying she doesn't need anyone else. That kiss on the cheek means we're official. That kiss on the cheek means I have a girlfriend. Chapter 10. "So you think it's official because she kissed you on the cheek?" Sydney says, confused. She doesn't get it. She's like everyone else and sees Bridget at face value, which is fine. Bridget gives people a pretty rough face value, and that's Bridget's right. I stopped trying to explain to Sydney my relationship with Bridget. Besides, I kind of like that no one gets it. And even though we had this really crazy non-sexual experience with the hand-holding and the cheek-kissing the other day, it hasn't affected us in the bedroom. In fact, last night we moved past the slow and steady streak we've been on, and played out a fantasy of mine that involved her Hooters uniform. "You should try to get a job at Hooters," I tell Sydney. I know she's been looking for work, and even though it doesn't seem up her alley, the tips are really good. "No thanks," she says. "I wouldn't be caught dead in those shorts." They're actually very nice shorts. Soft, stretchy. You'd be surprised. And last night, when Bridget was pretending she was serving me a platter of hot wings, I reached down and— "Warren," Sydney says. "Stop. I don't care. How many times do I have to tell you I don't care about your sex life?" I frown. Ridge doesn't really like to hear about it either, and I can't tell Bridget because she's part of the story, and it would just be redundant. I miss Brennan. He always listened. Bridget's bedroom door opens, and I watch as her eyes search the living room for me. I can see a hint of a smile, but she's good at making sure I'm the only one who sees it. "Good morning, Bridget," I say to her. "Sleep well?" Her eyes fall on Sydney, who's seated next to me on the couch again. She looks away, but not before I see a flash of hurt on her face. "Screw you, Warren," Bridget says, turning her attention toward the refrigerator. "Still, after holding hands and kissing my cheek, she thinks I'd ever mess with another girl?" I watch her as she slams stuff around in the kitchen angrily. "I don't like how she's up your ass all the time," Bridget says. I immediately turn to Sydney and laugh, because, for one, she still thinks Sydney can't hear her, and two, I can't believe she just said that to me. If that isn't her laying claim to me, I don't know what is. I love it. "You think that's funny?" Bridget says after spinning around. I quickly shake my head and lose my smile, but she throws her hand in Sydney's direction. "The girl obviously has it bad for you, and you can't even respect me enough to distance yourself from her until I'm out of the house?" She turns her back to us again. "First she gives Ridge some sob stories so he'll let her move in, and now she's taking advantage of the fact that you know sign language so she can flirt with you. I don't know who to feel worse for, Bridget or Sydney, or myself. Bridget, stop." "You stop, Warren," she says, turning back around to face me. "Either stop crawling in bed with me at night or stop shacking up on the couch with her during the day." I knew it was coming, but I hoped I wouldn't be here when it finally did. Sydney reaches her breaking point and slaps her book against her thighs. "Bridget, please," she yells. "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, Christ! I don't know why you think I'm deaf, and I'm definitely not a whore, and I'm not using sign language to flirt with Warren. I don't even know sign language, and from now on, please stop yelling when you speak to me." I'm scared to look at Bridget. I feel torn because I want to high-five Sydney for finally standing up for herself, but I want to hug Bridget because I know this has to be hard for her. I suddenly feel like the prank was the worst prank in the history of pranks. I glance up just in time to see a flood of hurt wash over Bridget's face. She marches to her room and slams her door. This is going to be impossible to fix. Sydney just single-handedly ruined my entire relationship with that outburst. Okay, it wasn't all her. I played a huge part in it, too. My chest hurts. I don't like this. I don't like the silence, and I don't like the fact that I'm about to have to go make this right. I put my hands on my knees and begin to stand. Well, there goes my chance to act out all the role-playing scenes I've been imagining. Thanks a lot, Sydney. She pushes her book off her lap and stands up. "Screw you, Warren." Ouch. Double hurt. Sydney walks over to Bridget's bedroom door and knocks. After a few seconds, she cautiously slips inside and closes the door behind her. If she somehow fixes this, I'll be indebted to her forever. I sigh and run my hand through my hair, knowing this is my fault. I glance over at Ridge, and he's staring at me. "What'd I miss?" he signs. I slowly shake my head in shame. Bridget found out Sydney's not deaf, and now Bridget hates me. Sydney went to Bridget's room to try and fix things because she feels guilty. Confusion clouds Ridge's face. "Sydney?" he signs. "What does she have to feel guilty for?" I shrug. Going along with the prank, I guess. She feels bad that it embarrassed Bridget. Ridge shakes his head. "Bridget deserved it. If anyone should be apologizing, it should be her, not Sydney." Why is he defending Sydney like he's her overprotective boyfriend?
I glance at Bridget's bedroom door, shocked that I actually hear a conversation going on in her room rather than a cat fight. Ridge waves his hand in the air to get my attention again. "Bridget isn't yelling at her, is she?" he signs. He looks worried, and frankly, that concerns me. "You sure do seem to care a lot about Sydney's well-being," I sign. His jaw tightens, and I know I probably shouldn't have said anything. I can't help it, though. I've been through a lot with Ridge and Maggie, and I don't want him screwing things up just because he might find another girl attractive. I can tell he doesn't want to take the conversation in that direction, so I redirect it back to me. "No, neither of them are yelling," I sign. "But Bridget will be as soon as she walks back out of her bedroom. She'll more than likely move out now, and I'll never be able to crawl out of bed again because—" I clasp my hand to my chest. "She's going to take my heart with her." He knows I'm being dramatic, so he rolls his eyes and laughs, turning to face his laptop again. The door to Bridget's bedroom swings open, and she marches out. I didn't prepare for this. I knew she'd be mad, but I'm not sure I can defend myself against her physically if we were in a real fight. I sit up straight and watch in fear as she walks swiftly toward me. She kneels down onto the couch and slides her leg across my lap, straddling me. I'm so confused. Her hands meet my cheeks, and she sighs. I can't believe I'm falling in love with such a stupid, stupid asshole. My heart wants to rejoice, but my mind is pulling on the reins. Falling in love with an asshole. A stupid, stupid asshole. Holy shit, that's me! I wrap my hands around her head and pull her mouth to mine, at the same time that I stand up and begin making my way into my bedroom. I shut the door behind us and walk over to the bed and drop her on it. I take off my shirt and throw it on the floor. "Say it again." I slide on top of her and she smiles, touching my face with the palms of her hands. "I said I'm falling in love with you, Warren. I think. I'm pretty sure that's what this is." I kiss her again, frantically. Those are the most beautiful words I've ever heard come out of another human. I pull back and look at her again. "But you wanted to kill me 5 minutes ago. What changed?" I lift up onto my hands. "Did Sydney pay you to say that? Is this a prank?" My heart stops. Bridget shakes her head. I would die. I would literally die if she took them back. I would die so much better than Brody dies because my death would be actual death. Bridget pauses, searching for the right words. "I've been thinking this whole time that maybe you were messing around with Sydney, but after talking to her, I know that's not true. And she also mentioned that one night when you were drunk, you said you might love me. And that just... I don't know, Warren. God, I love this. I love her nervousness. I love her hesitation. I love that she's talking to me so openly." "Tell me, Bridget," I say quietly, urging her to finish what she was saying. I roll onto my side and lift up onto my elbow. I brush the hair away from her forehead and lean forward to kiss it. When she said that, it made me feel happy, and I realized that I'm never happy. I was an unhappy child, and I'm an unhappy adult, and nothing in my life makes me feel the way you do. So I think that's what this feeling is. I think I'm falling in love with you. A small droplet of a tear escapes from the corner of her eye, and as much as I want to bottle it up and save it for all eternity, I pretend not to notice it because I know that's what she would prefer. I kiss her lips again before pulling back and looking her directly in the eyes. "I'm falling in love with you, too." She smiles and reaches her hand up to the back of my head, slowly pulling my mouth to hers. She kisses me softly and then gently pushes me onto my back. She eases herself on top of me and presses her hands against my chest. "I think I should clarify that I never said I was in love with you. I just said I was falling in love with you. There's a difference." I grab her by the hips and pull her closer. "The only difference between falling in love and being in love is that your heart already knows how you feel, but your mind is too stubborn to admit it." Then I whisper in her ear, "But take all the time you need. I have nothing but patience for you." "Good, because I'm not telling you I love you yet, because I don't. I might be on the way to that point, but anything could derail that." I can't help but smile and kiss her after that little disclaimer. After a few more minutes of kissing, she turns her head to the side and holds up a finger, silently asking me to stop. She pulls away and sits up on the bed, hugging her knees. She lays her head on her arms and squeezes her eyes shut. She's quiet for several moments, and her reaction is unusual for her. She looks guilty. She doesn't ever look guilty because she's always too angry to feel any sense of guilt. "What's the matter?" I ask her. She quickly shakes her head. "I'm the worst person in the world," she whispers. She turns her head toward mine, slowly. I don't like the look on her face. She begins to scoot off the bed, and I feel my heart dragging behind her. "It was a prank, Warren," she says softly as she stands. I rise up onto my elbows. "What do you mean?" She turns to face me, and her eyes are so full of shame she can't even look at me without wincing. "I was trying to get back at you for letting me think Sydney was deaf." She opens the bathroom door and looks down at her feet. "I said all that because I was mad at you, not because it's really how I feel. I'm not falling in love with you, Warren. I think you're standing on my heart, Bridget." She glances over her shoulder into the bathroom and then back at me. "I didn't mean to take it that far. This is really awkward. I'm going to go back to my room now." She closes the door behind her. I'm too numb to feel. Too numb to move. Too numb to process the words that just came out of her mouth. My throat hurts, my stomach hurts, my chest hurts, even my fucking lungs hurt, and oh my God, it hurts so much. I fall back to the bed and bring 2 fists to my forehead. "Hey, Warren," she says from the doorway. I look up at her, and she still looks just as guilty. She waves her hand back and forth between us. "That whole thing that just happened? That was..." Her frown transforms into a shit-eating grin. "That was actually the prank." She runs and jumps on the bed and begins dancing around me. "You should have seen your face." She's laughing and jumping and bouncing every aching part of me up and down on the bed. I want to kill her. She falls to her knees and leans over me, pressing her lips to mine. When she pulls back, I don't want to kill her anymore. My whole body is miraculously healed by her smile. I feel better than I've ever felt. I feel stronger, more alive, happier, and somehow more in love with her than I was 5 minutes ago. I pull her against me. "That was a really good prank, Bridges." She laughs. "I know. It was the best." I nod. It really was. I hold her for several quiet minutes, replaying the entire scene in my head. "God, you're such a bitch." She laughs again. "I know. A bitch who finally met the right asshole." Chapter 11. Guess who woke up in Bridget's bed again this morning? Me. And guess who'll be falling asleep in Bridget's bed tonight? That's right, me. Both of those things are great, but not as great as this moment, right now. We're both seated on the couch, and she's been lying between my legs with her head on my chest. We're watching a movie where the actors actually stay dressed for the entire film. But it's not really important what film it is, because Bridget's cuddling with me. This is a first, and it's incredible, and I love how she makes me appreciate such simple, mundane things. Both of us glance at the door when we hear a key being inserted into the lock. The door opens and Brennan walks in. I immediately sit up on the couch because he's supposed to be in Dallas tonight. He has a show tomorrow, and I'm positive I booked him a hotel for the right night. Bridget sits up on the couch and looks at him. He smiles at her, but it's a forced smile. He reaches for his back pocket and pulls out a sheet of paper. He holds it up. "This came today," he says. Bridget squeezes my hand, and that's when I realize he's holding the test results. I've known Brennan long enough to know by his reaction that he's not happy about the results. I just don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for Bridget. "Just tell me," she whispers. Brennan looks down at his feet and then up to me. The look in his eyes is enough for Bridget to know that she's not any closer to figuring out who her real father is than she was a few months ago. She inhales a deep breath and then stands up. She mutters a thank you to Brennan and begins heading toward her bedroom, but he grabs her by the arm and pulls her to him. He wraps his arms around her and gives her a hug,
but in true Bridget fashion, she doesn't allow it to last more than 2 seconds. She begins to cry, and I know that Bridget doesn't want anyone to see her cry. She ducks her head and rushes to her room. Brennan tosses the paper on the counter and runs his hands through his hair. "This sucks, man," he says. "I felt like she really needed it to be true, and instead it just adds to all the shit she's had to deal with her whole life." I sigh and drop my head against the couch. "You sure about the results? There's no way they could have messed up?" Brennan shakes his head. "She's not his daughter. And in a way I'm happy for her, because who would want him for dad? But I know she liked the idea of finally having a little bit of closure." I stand up and squeeze the back of my neck. I don't think closure is the only thing she was hoping for. I point to her bedroom. "I'm gonna go check on her," I tell him. "Thanks for coming all this way to tell her." Brennan nods, and I make my way into her bedroom. She's curled up on the far side of her bed, facing opposite from the door. I'm not good at consoling, so I'm not sure what I can say to make her feel any better. Instead, I just climb onto the bed and scoot in behind her. I wrap my arm over her and grab her hand. We lie like this for several minutes, and I let her get all her tears out. When it doesn't sound like she's crying anymore, I press a kiss into her hair. "He would have been a horrible father, Bridget." She nods. "I know, I just..." She sucks in a rush of air. "I like it here. I feel like all of you accept me for who I am, and that's never happened before. And now that Brennan knows I'm not his sister, what happens now? Do I just leave?" I squeeze her tighter, hating that she even thinks that's an option. "Over my and Brody's dead bodies. No way am I letting you go anywhere." She laughs and wipes her eyes. "You guys don't have to be nice to me out of pity." I roll her onto her back and shake my head in confusion. "Pity? This isn't pity, Bridget. I mean, yeah, I feel bad for you. Yeah, it might have been cool if you were their sister, but it doesn't change anything. The only thing those test results would have changed is that you'd go from not knowing who your real father is to having one of the worst fathers in the world." I kiss her on the forehead. "I don't care whose sister you are. I love you just the same." Her eyes widen, and I can feel her body stiffen in my arms. I didn't say I was falling in love this time. I just told her I loved her. Like, actively. And yes, those 3 words could probably make her flip out more than any other 3 words in the English language, but I can't take it back. I won't take it back. I love her, and I've loved her for months now, and I'm tired of being too scared of her reaction to say it. She begins to shake her head. "Warren..." "I know," I interject. "I said it. Get over it. I love you, Bridget." Her expression is void of any emotion right now. She's absorbing it. She's waiting to see how those words make her feel, because I'm not sure if she's ever heard them before. Her jaw grows tense, and she places her hands against my chest. "You're a liar," she snaps, attempting to roll out from under me. Here we go again. I pull her back to the mattress while she attempts to squirm away. "You're exhausting, you know that?" I roll her onto her back, and she begins to nod frantically. "That's right, Warren. I'm exhausting. I'm mean. I always see the glass half empty, and if you think telling me you love me will make me nicer and less exhausting, you're wrong. You can't change me. Everyone wants to change me, but I am who I am, and if you think me telling you that I love you too will make me shit out unicorns and rainbows, you're wrong. I hate unicorns and rainbows." I drop my face to her neck and start to laugh. "Oh my God, I can't believe you're mine." I kiss her on the cheek, and then I kiss her on the forehead, and then her nose, and her chin, and her other cheek. I look back at her eyes full of confusion. "I don't want you to change, Bridget. I'm not in love with who you could be, or who you used to be, or who the world says you should be. I'm in love with you. Right now. Just like this." She's still guarded and defensive, so I pull her closer to me and wrap my arms around her, hugging her tightly. "Stop," I whisper in her ear. "Stop telling yourself that you aren't lovable, because it's pissing me off. I don't care if you aren't ready to admit how you really feel about me yet, but don't you dare dismiss how I feel about you. Because I love you." I kiss her on the side of the head, and I say it again. It feels so good to finally say it. I love you, Bridget. She pulls away just enough for me to see her face. Her eyes are rimmed with tears. Bridget, I love you, I say again, this time looking her straight in the eyes. I can feel her struggling internally. Part of her wants to enjoy this moment, and part of her is trying to hold up that last wall that still stands between us. I love you, I whisper again. One of the tears escapes from her eyes, and I'm afraid she's about to break and push me away like she always does. I press my lips against hers, and I inhale deeply. I touch her cheek and wipe away her tear with my thumb. You're the most genuine person I know, Bridget. So whether you think you deserve it or not, it doesn't matter, because I can't help it. I fell in love with you, and I'm not sorry for it. Another tear falls from her eyes. A smile forms on her lips. A laugh escapes her mouth, and her chest begins to shake because she's laughing and crying and kissing me. And I kiss her right back, crashing right through the last wall that stood between us. She wraps her hands in my hair and rolls me onto my back, still with her lips pressed to mine. I open my eyes, and she backs away from my mouth, still smiling. She begins to shake her head in slow disbelief. I can't believe I'm in love with such a stupid, stupid asshole. I'm not sure this sentence could mean more to any other man in the world. I love you, Warren. I can't even tell her I love her back because hearing those words come out of her mouth has left me completely speechless. But I don't think she cares because her lips are on mine so hard and fast I wouldn't be able to speak anyway. I'm in love with Bridget. Bridget is in love with me. All is finally right in the world. We continue to kiss while we remove each other's clothes. Neither one of us is in control this time. She makes love to me at the same time I make love to her, and no one is in charge. No one is calling the shots. It's completely equal now. She feels about me how I feel about her, and when we're finished, she whispers, I love you, Warren. And I say, I love you, Bridget. And no one argues. She lies peacefully in my arms and doesn't try to kick me out of her bed. Just the thought of having to go back to my room and sleep alone seems ridiculous, and I'm not sure I ever want to sleep alone again. I stroke her arm with my fingers. I have an idea, I whisper against her hair. She shakes her head. I'm not doing anal. I laugh and pull back. What? No, not that. Not yet, anyway. I push her off me and sit up, pulling her to a seated position. I take both of her hands in mine, and I look her very seriously in the eyes. I think we should move in together. Her eyes widen in shock, and she's looking at me like I've lost my mind. Maybe I have. We already live together, dumbass, and we hardly have to pay rent. We'd be broke if we got our own place. I dismiss her concerns with a shake of my head. I don't mean into a new apartment. Move into my bedroom with me. We're together every night anyway. She's still shaking her head. Why would I want to do that? Because, I say to her, brushing her hair behind her ear, it's romantic. No, Warren, it's dumb. I fall back onto the bed, frustrated. She drops to my side and glares down at me. Why would I want to move all my clothes into your tiny closet? That's so stupid. I have way too much closet stuff. Fine, I tell her. You can keep all your clothes in your own closet, but move everything else into my room. She drops her forehead to my chest. I don't have any other stuff. I have a bed, that's it. I tuck my finger under her chin and lift her eyes to mine. Exactly. Move your bed to my room. We both have full-size beds. Putting them together would be like having a king. And we'd have more room to have sex, and when we're finished, you can roll over to your side of the bed, and I can watch you sleep. She considers my proposal for several quiet moments, and then smiles. This is so dumb. I sit up and pull her off the bed. And romantic. Come on, get dressed. I'll help you. We put our clothes back on and begin tossing the blankets and pillows off her bed. We lift the mattress and begin scooting it out the door into the living room and toward my room. Ridge and Brennan are both sitting on the couch, staring at us. What the hell are you doing? Brennan asks. I press my hip against the mattress so I can sign back to them. Bridget and I are moving in together. Ridge and Brennan look at each other, then back at me. But you already live together, Brennan says. I dismiss them with a wave of my hand, and we finish moving Bridget's mattress next to mine. Once her bed is remade, she falls onto hers and I onto mine. We roll until we're facing each other. She rests her head on her arm and sighs. We've lived together for 2 minutes, and I'm already sick of your face. I laugh. I think you should move out. We got along so much better before this. She flips me off, so I grab her hand and link my fingers through hers. I need to ask you something else. She falls onto her back. So help me God, Warren, if you ask me to marry you, I'll cut your nuts off. I don't want to marry you, I say, yet, but... I crawl over to her part of our home and lie next to her. Will you go on a date with me? She looks away from me and stares up at the ceiling. Oh my God, she whispers. We've never been on a date before? Not a real one. She slaps a hand to her forehead. I'm such a whore. I already moved in with you, and we haven't even been on a date? You're not a whore, I say to her with mock reassurance. We haven't even had sex. Oh, wait, I grimace. You are such a whore, a huge, slutty whore who wants me to try anal with her tonight. She laughs and shoves me in the chest. I shove her back. She shoves me harder. I push her until she's at the edge of her bed. She lifts her legs to kick me. I kick her back, pushing her off the bed until she's lying on the floor. After several quiet seconds, I scoot to the edge of the mattress and look down at her. She's still lying flat on her back in the same position she landed. You could give Brody a run for his money, I tell her. She reaches up a hand to hit me, but I grab it and pull it to my mouth. I kiss the top of it and hold her hand while I lock eyes with her. She's in an unusually agreeable mood right now, which leads me to believe that maybe, just maybe... I have one more question, Bridget. She cocks an eyebrow and slowly shakes her head. I'm not telling you the name of that porn. I drop her hand and roll onto my back. Fuck. Maybe not.
Maybe Not was written by Colleen Hoover and read by Jason Carpenter. Editing and post-production by Common Mode. Paul Fowley, technical director. The associate producer was Louisa Solomon. Mike DeCino was the mix engineer. This has been a presentation of Simon & Schuster Audio. Maybe Not is available in print from Atria Books. Also by Colleen Hoover from Simon & Schuster Audio, Finding Cinderella, read by Jason Carpenter, and Ugly Love, read by Grace Grant and Deacon Lee, with Elizabeth Louise.